How to prepare for an interview. Students entering the workforce are expected to be flexible, adaptable, creative, innovative, and continuously improving. So, the decision around how you market yourself after your formal education is critically important. To manage your career effectively in an environment of continuous change and uncertainty, you need to be aware of the following: your personal interests, your skills, strengths, and areas of development, values, and also the opportunities that are available to you. When those opportunities come up, you need to be competition ready. Today, we're going to focus on helping you prepare for the interview and really put your best foot forward. Interviewing skills are a critical element to career development. You created your resume, cover letter, and applied on that job, and hooray! You've been called for an interview. Now, the tough work starts. Here are a few things to help you prepare for the interview. You're going to need to write these down, so grab a piece of paper. When you're extended the interview invitation, it's important to collect as much information as possible. Get the time, date, locations, directions, ask who will be participating in the interview, ask the format, and also request a copy of the job description. A couple tips. Don't forget to ask the name and the title of the people on the interview panel. You can do a little bit of research prior to your interview. Also, ask if there's anything additional that you can bring, such as work samples, your references, or copies of your education certificates. Before the interview, make sure that you've researched the company. Why would you bother with this step? Well, it gives you a better understanding of the position, it makes you more knowledgeable, and it helps you overall prepare for that interview. You'll get a better idea of the strategic planning and the direction of the company. Now, let's go back to that job description that I suggested you ask for. The reason why we ask for the job description is because the questions the interviewer is going to ask should be directly related to the duties and the responsibilities of that position. Once you've finished reviewing the job description, you should be able to identify the main components of the job. Now, write down an example of an accomplishment for each of those components that best illustrates the skills or experience that you have. When thinking of your answers for possible questions, prepare using the STAR approach. So S, situation, describe the circumstances. T, task, what were you asked to do? A, action, what did you actually do? How did you do it? R, results, discuss the outcomes and any lessons learned. There's going to be 3 different types of interview questions that are asked: behavioral based, where you are going to be asked to provide information about past experiences. This will focus on your strengths and areas of development. Knowledge based, which is knowledge or technical in nature. And then there's situational based. This places you in a hypothetical situation and asks you to respond as what you would do on the job. The only way to interview well is to practice. Practice, practice, practice. If you're nervous or don't feel that you interview well, practice, practice, practice. Practice with a friend, a mentor, a parent. You can practice asking yourself questions in the mirror. It's the best way to help prepare. Let's talk about references. References should be professional. They should be supervisors, managers that can speak to your skills and abilities of past jobs. For your references, you're going to want to include their full name, daytime telephone, email address, current title, and also title they held when they were working with you. Here's another tip. Notify your references in advance. Provide them with a copy of your resume, cover letter, and the job advertisement. Also, it's good practice to ask, what would they say about you if asked? On the day of your interview, try not to be too nervous. Remember, you've prepared. So, in the morning, review your STAR response. Plan to arrive early. Remember to bring copies of your resume. your references, a copy of the job description, some pens, paper, and a portfolio. Make sure you manage your time. Typically, interviews have an allotted, limited amount of time to conduct the interview. You must manage your time and respond to each question. If you don't, the interviewer may not get to all the questions, and you may not have an opportunity to fully demonstrate why they should hire you. If you're struggling, have a sip of water, and this will allow you to think about the question. Also, you can move on to the next question and then revisit it at the end of the interview. Lastly, if you don't feel confident in your understanding of the question, paraphrase the question to validate your understanding. At the end of the interview, it's your turn to now ask some questions. This will show your interest and will also showcase that you've done some research in the company. Make sure that you keep those questions focused on the position. This is not the time to talk about compensation. Close the interview by thanking them for their time, and then a day later, send them a thank you email thanking them for their time during the interview. I hope you found this presentation helpful, and best of luck on your interview.